Good morning, everyone. This is Margaret Salisu Horadin. I'm from Senior Care on TV. Today we are here at the 33rd Annual Quitter Show in Long Island. We're here live. And this is Roberta. She's the chairperson for this show. Roberta, welcome to Senior Care on TV.
Thank you. Welcome to our quilt show.
Oh, thank you for inviting us. Now, the theme of this program is the
this is our 33rd Annual Peconic Quilt Show, and it is sponsored by the Eastern Long Island Quilt Guild. This year's show is called Around the World in 80 Quilts, and we've given a bit of a modern twist, which is new to quilting, to our show itself. Our raffle quilt, which generates proceeds to fund the show, is a modern takeoff on the Trip Around the World quilt. We have a project in here, which is that volunteers have created about 30 raffle baskets, which are raffled off at the end of the show, and all the proceeds go to Camp Kesem at Stony Brook, which is a brand new program where children who have a parent affected by cancer are able to go to camp for free, a sleepaway camp for a week between the ages of 6 and 16 in August. So we're sponsoring them, and part of that project is we created all of these pillowcases.
Beautiful.
The Guild members created, which will go to the campers. And they also have a booth here with information, so they still have spots open in the camp. They raised enough money to have 50 campers as opposed to just 30 go, which is amazing. So we still have openings for campers, and so we have their information here. We also have 150 quilts created by the membership and some others. We have a AQS certified appraiser who is here also doing quilt appraisals.
Very good. Now, let me stop you right there,
Sure.
if you don't mind. Now, tell me about the membership of the quilt.
We have 150 members in our guild. It's very varied, from young people to older people who are retired, many with different interests, different types of quilting, different skills, and we all come together. We have a lot of education that goes on and many community projects that we do. This is one of our community projects. We created these quilts out of ugly scraps, and the quilts are going to children who have cancer. We also create veterans quilts. There are a lot of charities that we provide outreach to, and a lot of community outreach projects we do, getting the community to understand that we're here and quilting is alive and a wonderful vocation for, especially, I know you're interested in retired people.
Yeah, and how many people do you, the composition of the membership, people that are retired?
Probably half to 2/3 would be my guess.
That is a lot.
It is a lot, and it's a wonderful way to keep yourself vibrant.
Exactly, and that is what the Senior Care of TV on TV is all about. We impress with people who have devoted their lives in contributing to the society. And as we know, retirees, especially those that are engaged in active community work, compose a lot of, they constitute a lot of, how will I say it, make a lot of contribution to the ongoing of the community. Not only that, but they also use that time to enhance themselves.
Exactly, because you're always learning and changing. I've been quilting for over 30 years, and it's changed dramatically, because even if I learn one little thing in a class, it can change everything. And so we provide a lot of education and outreach, and my hope is we have over 1,000 people that come to the show, and this way we provide classes here that people can take, and we also provide free lectures from very notable speakers from outside, other places from across the country that are here to help people, and hopefully we can get some new members, perhaps, retired folks or not, that can come and see what's wonderful about quilting.
So to be a quiltist, you don't have to be been doing it for a very long time. You can learn the skill at any.
You can learn today.
Today.
Yes,
okay.
At any point in time, and there's such variety, so that it can be with handwork. It could be, the classes today are 6 classes in the next 2 days from techniques that are used around the world, and you might find one that appeals to you, and that might be what you do. It could, and skill-wise, there's so much that it doesn't have to be the best. It doesn't have to be a ribbon quilt or show winning quilt. It just needs to be something that you enjoy and you're able to do. And certainly I make quilts all the time, and everybody else does too. Someone is ill, someone had a baby, you know, a hospital needs something. We all do that.
Okay.
And it's a gift. We're very blessed to have that ability.
Thank you. So when you're talking of what you do, is that considered to be a professional, or is an hobby that you picked up?
For me, it's always been a hobby.
Okay.
I'm a speech pathologist, so I had my profession and I did this as well. I'm retired 3 years, so now I'm doing it more full time. I do some teaching, you know, in this area, and you know, my skills are improving and improving.
Okay.
So that's made a difference for me.
So the show that we're going to have today, what do we expect to see?
Well, we have the 150 quilts, and
Okay.
you'll see the ribbons, and the explanations for each quilt is on the quilt, why the person made it, and specific items about it. We have a challenge exhibit with Trip Around the World quilts in the library that has approximately, I think, 25 quilts. They had to be round, they had to be between 20 and 30 inches, and depict a place or a technique that is very recognizable from around the world.
Oh, okay. So they use that to kind of show their skills, their emotions.
It's a fun contest,
fun
too.
contest.
And my membership supported me in doing that, which was great. And I think you really should go see the quilts because they are amazing. I have 4 quilts in the show. One has a ribbon.
Okay,
So,
so
I'm
let's go.
just thrilled. Okay?
Thank you. So let's go. Everyday activities of the senior, you know, what they do and all that. And here we are at the show. And with us is Maurice Boswick.
Hi.
Hi, Maurice. Nice to see you.
Good to see you, Margaret.
Thank you. And Marie, as you know, she is one of the best authors of the New York Times, right?
Well, I hope so. I mean, I certainly have had books on the New York Times bestseller list.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks for the correction. Now tell us a little bit, what brought you to the show?
Oh, well, I was invited quite a while ago by Roberta Leonard to come and do a lecture today, so I'm going to be doing a lecture called When the Going Gets Tough, It's Time to Turn to Quilting.
Wow, wow. So this is a program that is for the general public, you know, so people that are involved in the show, retirees, people that are, you know, part of the private age group that are fighting.
You know, that's true. Oftentimes, people as they get older, they find they have a little more time to do things that they maybe always wanted to do. So quilting tends to be one of those things, and of course, reading tends to be one of those things too. A lot of people, their kids grow up, and they're maybe not working very much, and now they have free time and they can enjoy reading again in a way they couldn't before.
Thank you. Now tell us a little bit about your book and how does this, I mean, you said, you know, something very significant earlier on that, you know, people that are past retirement age, now they do have the time to read.
They do.
So now what is about your book, you know, to the seniors?
Well, I think actually it's not specifically towards seniors. It's just everybody likes a good story.
Okay.
My books are women's fiction. They deal with issues that are important to real women wherever they are in their lives. And this book, the Collie Fort series, A Part of the Seams is my newest. It's number 6 in the series. And it is dealing with some issues of a woman who is about in her mid-40s and is dealing with a marital crisis, but a younger woman as well, but I have a multi-generational cast of characters. Right now in this series, my oldest character is celebrating her, I think it's her 85th birthday in this book, and she decides on her 85th birthday to go skydiving.
Wow.
It's a big surprise. Her daughter is not happy about that, but she does it
Very
anyway.
adventurous.
It is. So I have characters all the way to 85, and my youngest character in this series has been 19. So it's really something that all people can relate to, no matter their age. But it's just a good story.
That's a good story. And now, what about this show that really what do you think about this show would benefit the people that are watching this program, especially seniors?
Oh, well, I think that it's a place to get inspiration. You know, whether you're a quilter or not,
Okay.
you could come and enjoy this because quilting is really an art form. You know, people sometimes have an idea of what they think quilts are. Quilts are a lot more than just bed covering. Quilts really are art forms today. And it doesn't matter if you ever intend to take up quilting or not. It's very inspiring to see what people can do with their hands.
So it gives expression also to the
Absolutely.
artistic value
Yes.
and interest as well.
That's right.
Very good. Thank you so much for your time.
Such
It's
a pleasure to
have
meet you,
Margaret.
Margaret.
Thank you.
Jehovah, no nobody. There is nobody in the Red Sea.
Senior Care on TV is at the quiz show, as I told you earlier. And today I have with me at this show Dottie Clark and Kim Cronin. Welcome and thank you for this time that you've given us to talk about your involvement in the show and what we have to present to those that are watching us today. Now, Dottie, tell me a little bit about yourself in terms of your involvement in this program, your organization.
Well, when I retired, I always liked sewing, and I got involved through a friend, like we all do, and I got hooked. So I do a
So
little
you
bit
weren't
of
doing
quilting.
that before until
Not-
after you
I
retired?
was too busy,
Okay.
And unfortunately, due to a little problem with my hands now, it is a little difficult to sew. So I should have really started younger. So if you think about it, start younger.
So how long have you been doing this as a hobby? Is this a
It's
hobby
just a
for
hobby.
you? Or?
This is a hobby.
Okay.
I've been doing it about 11 years.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
And today you're playing a very significant role because one of the contributions that the quitters make to the society is charity. Am I right?
That's correct.
And
Jane.
today you're in charge of the raffle baskets.
The raffle biscuits. that's
Okay,
right.
so where does the proceed? What you get from it? Where does that go?
That goes to, this year it's going to Camp Kesem. These children go to Stony Brook College and they get credit, okay, they're going to run a camp upstate New York for children of cancer victims, which would be like mother or father,
Okay.
grandmother, grandfather. And through our community service, this is our charity this year that our chairperson has chosen. So the proceeds from the basket will go to them. I understand that they were doing 25 children. Well, through their raising funds and probably what we have, I understand it's 50 and it may even go higher.
Oh my
So,
God, that's
you know,
good
and
work.
it's
Thank
a
you.
project for them, you know. And we all have to remember that, you know, charity doesn't always begin at home. You have to step out in the community. There's many children that go hungry. You never know what their needs are. I work with a lot of children through another organization, and it's heartbreaking sometimes. But then you got to walk away and come back into the real world. So if you can help, that's what
And
you want
you
to
pick
do.
a
Give of
very-
yourself, a volunteer. It doesn't cost a dime.
And what is very impressive about what you're doing right now is that you picked a very special population.
Yes.
You know, children of people that are going through, you know, cancer.
Yes.
You know, most of the time, you know, we tend to focus on the victims
Correct.
of this, you know,
Yeah.
of cancer. But then they do have dependents, they have children, and you're just tapping into that to help them. You know,
They're
to-
forgotten
they're
sometimes.
forgotten.
You know, you think that children don't understand and don't know. They grasp very well. They're very smart. That's when they learn the most.
So this year you're going to give them a beautiful gift by, you know, sponsoring them to go to camp and, you know, having a beautiful life. Thank you. That's
very
very
welcome.
good. And King, let us know about what you do. You're in charge of volunteers.
Right, the Eastern Long Island Quilters Guild has 150 members.
Okay.
And we put this show on every year, which is quite a production. And we need people to work throughout the year or coordinating things, organizing things. But at the show, we need someone to sit at this table and someone to sit at this table and someone to stand by the quilts and make sure no one touches them or steals them. So all those slots have to get filled. So I coordinate who's going where when.
So you coordinate the volunteers. Now
Right.
let's talk about the volunteers. How many people are there?
We have
and-
we have 150 members in the guild, and we
so the
ask
members different.
the members
from,
take
from
the volunteer slots, and they recruit their husbands and their sons as well to climb the ladders and to hang the quilts when it gets time to do that.
Okay.
And I have to make phone calls. If a member doesn't sign up, they'll get a phone call from me. And if they're working that weekend, we still have members who are employed, or if we have some college graduations this weekend, so the members are traveling to see their grandson graduate from college. So, you know, if you can't volunteer, you know, if
You
you
don't
don't,
have the time.
right, you're still a member of the group, but we try to get every member to do something towards the show.
Okay, so now when you're talking of the membership, is that different from the volunteers, or this is the same?
It's the same.
Okay.
We do have some volunteers. The Camp Keshem students have stepped up in a big way this year and did a lot of work to help us. So the women of the guild will reach out to their support group, come help us get the show together. So as I say, my boyfriend was climbing the ladders yesterday, hanging up quilts. You know, we kind of pull in whoever we can get. to
What
do that.
about the involvement of the seniors in the volunteering?
It's amazing to see them just jump right in and do what has to get done. And the seniors are great because they are retired, so they do have the time to do things during the day. We have to meet with the college during the day, you know, and people that are working can't do that, but the retirees really step up and help us out.
Very good. So how do you get them
Oh,
in terms of?
you know, they're members of the guild or they're friends of members of the guild. There are little sewing groups all over Long Island. We have a Tuesday night stitch and itch group, and there are other groups around, and people will come to learn to quilt and kind of get pulled in that way. We do displays at the library so that you can see the quilts. We have a community outreach coordinator, Mary Crumcouch. She's also our guild president, who is out in the community, sitting at Halleckville, you know, trying to show this is us, this is what we do, and we do get members that way as well.
Okay, so the membership is open to anyone.
To anyone,
Okay.
right.
And is
Anyone.
there any fee involved in being a member?
There is an annual membership fee. It's either $30 or $35. I
Okay.
can't remember. And it gets you, you get a lot. You get to go to the monthly meetings. You get to check out books from the Guild Library. You get to sit and learn how to sew. I mean, I have been quilting for 30 years, but I was self-taught. So when I joined the Guild in '93, I thought, oh, I've been quilting for a while, so I learned so much from these ladies. Things that I was doing inefficiently, I won't say wrong, but their expertise is amazing.
Okay. Now I do have a question for some, especially the seniors. Now speaking on their behalf, you know, they're home. They want to get involved in something creative. They want to do something with their time, and they're looking for what to do. And now you are here. You're telling me, or you're telling the audience that this is something that you can do. Now tell me, what is it? I mean, what is the expectation when they come in? They want to join your organization. I mean, how involved are you, and what type of activities do you provide? Is this something that is always very busy all year round? I mean, tell us a little bit.
It's busy all year round. I mean, there are different kinds of members. We have ladies that join the Guild, and they come to the monthly meetings, and we have wonderful cakes and cookies, and they eat the cakes and cookies, and they look at other people's quilts. And that's the extent of their involvement. It gives them a night out to enjoy other quilts, talk with other women, and they sew a little, but they're not as involved. That would be probably our lowest type of, you know, least involved kind of member. And then we have women that just jump in with both feet. They're taking the workshops. We have members teaching members workshops. They're taking the workshops. They're sitting at the table at Halleckville when we do our community outreach so that they can demonstrate their craft to other people. They're working at the quilt show. They're making, we do charity projects. We have pillowcases that we make and quilts that we make, and we donate them. And so they'll be making the charity quilts. And the nice thing about that is we provide the materials so they can give. I know retirees don't have a lot of money, so they can contribute, they can make a quilt, they can give it without it costing anything but their time.
With your time.
We also have a gentleman in our group, okay? And we've had gentlemen before.
He's
And
volunteering
most
today,
people,
he's gonna be here.
Most people don't realize that women sewed at home very, very early. But the early people that sewed was the men.
Wow, that's very, very important.
That they were the sewers.
So you have, so your organization is not only for women.
No,
That is
it's
what
not.
you. Okay, so you have men also.
Right.
that are
You remember
actively-
Rosie Greer that used to knit?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, we have men also
Yeah.
that sew,
The sews.
and
Okay.
he does a lot of hand sewing.
And here you are, you know,
Yeah.
the quitters. It's not only for women. Men can also be actively involved if you have the time and you have the interest.
Come on down, we'd
come
love
on
to
down.
have you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very
Can you
much.
answer just one question for me? Okay. Ask them, and think about this just for a second. What do you think the guild belonging to a larger group, okay, than just being on your own, is it making retirement and the transition from being in a group of people at work to by yourself at home? You get a little depressed, you get whatever, but then here is a group you can join who are teaching you things and you're teaching them things. Is it an emotional bond after retirement to do this? How does it make you feel to be part of this group that is doing such good work? Is that a good question for you?
How did they?
Oh,
You know what I mean?
I volunteered almost all my life. I was raised on a farm here in Bating Hollow. And being Irish Catholic, that was part of what we did. We shared with the community, with the sisters and
We kind of
the
wanted
priests.
to know, I think, the advantages
Right.
of being involved in this kind of thing for retirees. Would you recommend it to other retirees? Whether they know how to sew or not, are there things that they could get involved in so that they could become part of this group somehow and have the reward of giving?
We can ask how long you've been. I'm just trying to.
Or other benefits maybe, and we can answer
We
the
can
way he
ask,
wants.
yeah, the way, yeah. I'm trying to kind of frame the question so that it can.
What are you getting out of this? Would you recommend this for
So
other
let's just
people?
make it simple. What are you getting out of this? So let's do that, and then we'll, because I'm trying to find the right, but right now.
And then you can just run with it for a minute.
You ready?
It was rolling all the time.
Running all the time? I thought you turned it off.
No.
Now, Kim, you've been a member of this organization for how long?
I joined in '93.
93. What about you, Dottie?
About 89.
About 89. So you guys have been a long time member. Now, what are the benefits of being a member, and how can this, benefit those that are? I mean, what advice will you give to those people that are interested in being a member of, this organization or any organization that caters, or where they can, be involved and make contributions?
Well, I moved to Long Island prior to joining the group, and I was a stay-at-home mom, which is similar to someone who's retired. You're not getting up and going somewhere every day, and you're not involved in the group. So when I joined, it was just wonderful to connect with people again and talk, and it's that connection of I'm in this group and I have people that I share a common interest with. And I know it would be the same thing for my friends that have retired. It's like you need to come and join the guild. You'll get out every week. You'll have this. You'll meet new people because you lose those connections with people. Once you leave the workforce, you don't have those connections with the people that you work with.
Yeah, that is what we we're getting, from most people that are retired. So in addition to showcasing your interest in showcasing your your talent, you are also making connections, having friends and making new friends, and increasing your social.
We go on bus trips. We'll go away for the weekend together. We'll rent a bus, and the whole group will get on, and we'll go to a show in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, or a show in Philadelphia, and to be able to go on a trip and not have to worry, oh, I can't drive, I'm getting too old to drive, or I don't know who I'm going to room with. I really can't afford a hotel room myself, but if I had a roommate, I could. You got a bus and a roommate, and you got it.
Sounds to me
it's
like a lot of
wonderful.
fun.
ready to
A lot of
go.
fun is
It
going
is
on.
wonderful, yeah.
That's good. So what about you, Kim? What do you have? I mean, Dottie, I'm sorry.
That's okay. From a very young age, I was always told that you needed to share of yourself, share of what you had. And that's the way I've always looked at life. So all my life I've shared with everything. And now that I'm older, I need to share my other little talents.
Okay.
I'm not the greatest quilter in the world, I'm never going to be. But a lot of nice ladies, a lot of good time. And as Kim says, we go away together, we
Yeah.
party. And I mean, I'm married to my husband 51 years. But I need to get away once in a while for a little bit. And we've done it for 51 years, and it works.
Yeah.
You need a little breather. And you step away for a little bit, and you go to Hershey, and you see the material, new material, threads,
The
things
quilt
to buy.
stores. Oh.
And like she said, we room with one another, we change roomies all the time, we swim together in the pool, we just have a
Fantastic.
good time. You need to come out, you need to keep active. It's like my grandmother used to say, use it or lose it. So we keep, a little rhinopathy in the fingers, but I keep working, can't thread the needle too well. But you can always teach younger ones, middle age.
We have junior
You know.
members. We have teenagers that join the guild.
She's
and-
13 years old.
Yeah, we have. Well, now we're down to just one.
One.
Yeah, it doesn't appeal to a lot of teenagers, but we will let them come to our meetings. We call them junior members. We teach them. There are future quilters out there.
Very good. And that's a message for you. There is something for you to do here. So why don't you think about it and give it a good thought?
Come
Thank
on
you.
down.
That was a great one.
This is a national show, and Kim, you made this?
I made 50 of this block, but yes, I put this together.
You put this together?
But the blocks were made by women across the country.
Okay. And what is this is beautiful. What do you think?
Well, it's called the Nifty 50 Internet Swap.
Okay.
There's a webpage called nifty50.org where women around the world can sign up. I want to make a quilt with women from across the country.
Okay.
And they try to get a woman from each state, hence the Nifty 50.
Okay.
And the theme of
So
this
each
one.
of these represents each state.
Right, if you look at the little thing here, this one says Kansas.
Okay,
This
I
one
see
says
that.
Kentucky. I put them in alphabetical order.
Okay.
Because I'm a school teacher and that's
Very
kind of what I
good.
had to do. But so
And each of these is symbolic, I would
each
think.
of them, the theme of it was Somebody Sue does the 50 states.
Okay.
I made 50 of the New York State. I'm from New York.
Okay.
And this is a photograph of the New York skyline. And there she is with a little suitcase moving to New York. That was my block. I made 50 of them. It was done in 2001 before the Twin Towers came down, actually. So the Twin Towers are in the. And then women from around the country, they also made 50. They were all sent to the woman who coordinated it. And we swapped them out and I got 50 back and I sold them together. It's wonderful.
Very, very creative. I like this. Thank you. Okay, the exhibit is the work of Bridget Mazzaferro.
That's correct.
Now the theme of your quilt is not retired, revived. Wow.
Right.
What inspired you to do this?
Well, I have 30 years of teaching as a speech pathologist, and frequently I was very busy making lessons for my students, personal lessons, and did not have the opportunity to do my passion, which is sewing
Sewing.
and quilting and making clothing. And so when I retired in October, and that's why this quilt is called October 19th, 2012, because that's when I retired. That's my day, and I'm a very happy gal.
Wow.
I'm retiring. And once that happened, I felt, and you can see, and it's kind of like black and dreary, because at the ends, I was like, oh, I gotta go to work, I gotta teach. I'm happy to teach, but you know, I'm ready to go.
You're ready to go. So
Doing
this,
something else.
even though you're retired, but you're not retired because
No.
now you're back to your passion. Am I
That's
right?
it, passion.
Wow.
So I get up at about 7:30 in the morning and I start sewing, and I can be in my studio until 5 o'clock at night.
Okay. So you do it like a full time because you're there from, very early in the morning, and you're done by 5. This is beautiful. Now I see you have a ribbon. So you want something?
Yes, yes. I got
Wow.
acknowledged for the fact that the judge said, the sentiments on this quilt, not retired but revived,
Revived.
are her sentiments exactly.
And I agree, this is very, very significant, especially to those that are home watching this program. You don't have to be retired. This is a new hobby, and a new avenue.
A new generation,
A generation.
a new avenue, a new adventure is what I'm trying to say.
Exactly.
And you grow, and with quilting, it keeps the mind going, and there's a lot of math involved in it, a lot of creativity. So I think it's a great skill for a retired individual.
I can see the enthusiasm in you.
Yes.
Wow, this is great. So is this a very, this is time involving, is that right?
Yes. The quilting alone took me the summer. Last
Okay.
summer, it took me to quilt this.
So this took you for about 9 months or thereabout?
The modern part of it, the wording didn't take long at all.
Okay.
But the quilting in it, this circular piece, and that's my design, and that took me over 2 months to do that quilting.
Wow, I like this. It says on October 19, 2012, you embraced retirement.
That's right.
Happily, you've never looked back. In order to celebrate this highlight in my life, I've decided to make this original design totem to express my pre- and post-retirement sentiments. Now tell us about that, your pre- and post-retirement sentiments.
Well, I think in today's education, a lot of times you're stymied and you can't teach the way you want to teach and be involved and enthusiastic. I used to do a lot of cooking with the children, and I work with special ed children.
Okay.
And there's a lot of things with the core curriculum you cannot do any longer that you used to do. And sometimes with administration, they're more interested in your paperwork than in your teaching skills and your stories. And I know it has to be academic now, but by games and books, you can learn so much. I just started to say, you're really draining me. And
So now you have the time to fully, express
That's right.
yourself.
That's right.
good.
And now I'm not only do I do this, and I'm in 2 different quilting guilds, but I'm also in an art focus group for women. We are all retired, and we're painting on the quilts, we're dyeing the fabric, so a lot of things I've never done before, but now I have the time.
Now you have the time. This sounds very, very exciting.
So,
Thank you.
okay, you're
And
very
congratulations.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's like,
Thank God I'm retired. Now I can do whatever I want to,
I think I'll be a lot younger. I'll live a lot longer.
That's good. And you give that energy to the people that are watching. That you're not retired, and then your life, just stops.
It's done. It's over.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things to explore after you're retired.
Yeah.
A lot of-
Just
when I
a
was still-
representation of that.
When I was still teaching 2 years ago, people that retired, not that many people do come back to the school to visit,
Yeah.
but 1 or 2 did. And we talked with them, and they said, you know what? We're busier than
Then-
we've ever been before, but we're happier.
yeah, you say to yourself, I don't know how I ever work.
Yeah.
I got too much to do.
But this, I like this, non retire, revive. This is really, really, inspiring.
Thank
It
you.
is. Yes, I like it. Yes, it's very. This is your husband.
Yes.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, my girlfriend has the original from her great grandmother.
Okay.
And it was sewed in 1860. It was hand sewn and hand quilted.
Wow.
I was able to get a copy of the particular square. I don't know what the name of the square is, but I did it all by machine, and it's quilted by machine.
Okay.
So you have the old and you have the new copying the old.
Wow.
Which
so
I
that's
thought was
a
interesting.
transition. That's
Yes.
good. That's good. So let us know. You said this is from 1860.
1860s, 1865, that area. And her quilt, the fabric, because it had dyes, acid in the dyes,
Okay.
the fabric has disappeared because it's so old. But of course, I have used all new quilting fabric, and it took me all winter to make it because I was very careful that all the little points would come out properly.
So this is about preservation.
Yes.
Passing it on from generation to
To
generation.
generation, yes,
Very
because
good.
quilting goes back for so many generations, and it's nice to copy what women have done
Yes.
so many years ago.
From 1860. We're talking about how many centuries here?
Well, all over 100 years.
Yes.
100
This is
50
great.
years.
Thank you for your work.
Thank
This is
you.
Great.
Thank you. Enjoy the square. The name of this square is because it's so old, and it might have been changed as generations go by.
Oh,
you
that's like Bear Paw.
Yes.
And
Log
some-
cabin.
Log cabin is
There's
another
different
one.
variations of different squares. You can do it in all different
What are
areas.
some of the ones for farms?
Sure. Well, some of them, see, they have farm animals on them.
No, I mean the pattern of the crops,
Oh, well, yeah,
where they copy
have,
the crops.
Yes, they do. Well, yeah, they do that too, but I don't know what their names are.
Oh, maybe
I,
Roberta will know.
I did that one in a corner. That's a herringbone.
Oh, okay.
See
That
how
one
it
over
goes?
there?
Yeah, that's a herringbone. Of course, fabric in herringbones goes back many, many years. Men's suits were herringbones. And they all have different names. And as the person who is the sewer will interpret it their way with color and fabric.
Okay.
And that's one of the things. See, that's another.
This is interesting.
That's another log cabin.
Okay, we are here today at the Eastern Long Island Quilt Show. With me today is Ellen Best, Eileen Best, Chris Gordon, and Bridget Mazzaferro.
Over 2 years.
And what support have you given to one another?
Well, we give each other a lot of support. We give each other creative support. We help each other with learning techniques, different techniques. This whole dyeing thing, Chris is an expert at, helped us with that a
So you
lot.
complement one another.
Yes.
Very good, very good. Now tell me about a little, I know you come from different backgrounds, but you are here as a group. So you're able to, put your differences together and also use that differences to, encourage one another. So tell us a little, and if I'm assuming that you're all retired.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And you just retired.
I just retired.
You just did.
She's our
So
newest.
She's the newest.
Right.
So,
Well, I think
did they make you retire?
they made me
So you can be part of the group.
time to work on quilts.
Encouraged her.
Yeah, because we were able to complete a lot of quilts, and she was a little
I
lagging
was
behind.
That's interesting.
Yeah, you don't have enough time.
And we do come from different backgrounds, we come from different neighborhoods. So this brings us together with the one idea of expanding our creativity. And that's really the whole art quilt idea, but it has turned into very good friendships, I think. And we've really come to love each other, rely on each other.
So how long have you been sewing and doing this?
I've been quilting for over 30 years.
For over 30 years. In
Yeah.
addition to what you do as
I worked
your
with the
career.
handicapped, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, quilting has been my thing for a very long time.
What about you, Chris?
I've been quilting for about 25 years.
25 years.
And,
And you guys were able to combine, your hobby with, your profession or your career, and
Yeah.
now you're back to full time.
full time.
Doing
And
this.
that's part of the reason for joining the art quilt group. Now we want to move in a new direction, expand our creativity, make something totally out of our own heads, design it, do the work, and show it at a show.
So now the question that I have is, what is the difference between work and what you're doing right now?
Nothing.
The pay's about the same.
Exactly.
I see the excitement coming from you.
No, it's fun.
So that
It's-
must be something,
And now, Bridget's husband even says to her, going to work?
Yeah, and I say yes, I am. The art fiber quilter is going downstairs
going-
and I'm going to work full time.
Wow.
So, but I think also what happens is that our friend Pauline, who is the group is housed in Pauline's home. She makes us soup every time. She makes us salad. We'll talk about books. We'll talk about her gardening, and she raises chicken. I mean, the woman does so much. And so now we're interested in other things that I never would have been interested. We went to a garden show that, and then a tea, and then she had a tea. So it's just segued into so many different things.
So it's evolving into something greater.
Yes.
That I never would have expected.
Yes.
And with this project, they were like, yeah, we want to do this. I'm like, I don't think I can do this. Before you know it, I did it somehow. I don't even know how.
Very, very. So now this is like a social group.
Yes.
Yes.
Sisters.
And supportive.
And
Very
support.
supportive.
Very good. So would you like other people to join you? Is this
That's
a
a
close
very
group?
tough question.
It's
It's a
tough.
small location, and we kind of like it. But we do belong to this big, larger group, and so that's where we also have a chance to share and also to show our interest.
And they're a very, very warm group. The Eastern Long Island Quilters Association is a very large group, but they also have little areas. Tuesday night quilters, anybody can come, and it's at Conic Rec Center, and we welcome people to come
and
and
what
join
is
us.
significant about this organization or this association is you came in as individuals, but now you're here as a group.
Right.
So that gives you that opportunity to become friends, to have social outlets, and that is very interesting. So for people at home, and you want to join this organization, you have other opportunities that comes from it.
Yes,
Exactly.
you can come
Exactly.
by yourself.
You can come by yourself and then
And you become part
you
of a
become
group.
part of the group.
Yes.
Just like you guys.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to come by
Don't be
yourself.
afraid. Talking about this group, this small group out of the bigger group. Now, do you provide emotional support to one another? Do you see yourself as a family? Do you do things outside of sewing?
Yes.
We do.
Oh, okay.
And I think I've learned from the group, there's another perspective, that Bridget's perspective, and not to just rush in and make a decision, but to maybe be a little smoother, be a little bit more relaxed, and say, okay, take a step back, and kind of see, okay, there's another way to look at it.
So you're able to share with one another. You're able to
Change.
provide
Change,
support.
I think, is big. At our age, we're still developing, changing, growing, being.
So there's life after retirement.
Yeah.
So there is a life after retirement.
Chris and I both had grandchildren since we've been part of the group, so we have a lot to talk about, a lot in common. Both our grandchildren live pretty far away, so that's hard, and it's nice to have somebody to talk to about it.
It is. And Eileen taught us all how to use the iPad so that I can do FaceTime with my grandson.
Very
So
good. So
She's
to
very
talk-
good on the computers. That
she's much better at the computer
Yes.
than I.
So are you
that's
guys
how,
on Facebook?
No.
No, I am, but they're not.
Yeah.
They're babies.
So we ask her for advice on Facebook.
But we're getting there. We're doing FaceTime with our grandchildren. We're sending pictures now
Yes.
to other people.
Yes, we can do that.
We're learning.
So that is good. So
Yes.
you're going to be leading the technology group.
Yes.
She's our technology.
good.
The technology.
Yes.
Well, far from
Thank you.
expert, but
Thank you so much. It's nice talking to you.
Yes, thank you.
thank
for this
you.
opportunity.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit a history about how this came about? What you have here, what you have here, and what you have here.
Okay, so as a group, we got plain undyed muslin, and each person took a piece and dyed it, embellished it, embroidered on it, whatever they wanted to do. And then the next month, we exchanged them. So then the next person added more to it until all four of us had touched each piece. Then we challenged each other to make them into a quilt.
So we slashed them all up. We cut them all in. So each person got 4 pieces from
That
each,
everybody had touched.
from each piece of fabric.
Oh, okay. I'm kind of impressed with what you said, but what actually led to the 3 of you or the 4 of you working together? Did you plan it or did just came?
We belong to a group called the Art Quilt Group.
Okay.
We wanted to join together to try to increase our creativity, to make our quilts more artistic. And we challenge each other with different ideas, and this was one of them.
Okay. Very good. Very.
And sometimes we challenge each other to say, well, I'm stymied. I don't know what to do with this. And the others will come up with some answers. Try it this way. Do it this
Right.
way.
So you do have support within
Yes.
this.
And our other member is in England right now, but there are 4 of us.
4 of you. Okay. So tell me a little bit about. This is yours.
This is mine.
Okay. So what is the idea behind this?
Well, I was again looking at water.
Okay.
So I thought, oh, I'm a beetle freak, so an octopus's garden. So I thought I'll use part of it to make it into a garden as under the sea. And that's what I did.
Very good, very good, very, very inspiring. What about this one? This is your work, Chris?
Yes, it is.
Tell us about it.
Well, Pauline, who did that one, decided that it reminded her of a song by Nielsen. And the song is called Think About Your Troubles.
Wow.
And there are some of the lines in the song are in the quilt, in that have a cup of tea and watch the water go down into the sea. And so I put the sea over here, and we all had different elements of underwater. I made the seahorses and the fish.
Yeah, and I see you got a ribbon here.
Yes.
Good work, good job.
Thank you.
Wow. And then tell me a little bit, this is, Bridget, this is yours. So what is the idea behind this one?
Well, I was rather stymied because, I had the bubble bath, and I had the fish, and I had the starfish here, and I had the underwater, and I didn't know what to do with it. And then I had seen a show on TV one morning from Channel 12, and it was all about this young girl, Sidonie Ferry, that had passed away. And she had a terrible accident over in Switzerland, and we lost her. And I understand she was an artist. But the very cool thing about the scenario was that because of Sandy, our terrible, horrific storm, her bottle, as a 10-year-old, she had put a message in a bottle. And because of Sandy, the bottle got unearthed. And when I saw that, I said, inspiration, cool. I can write my own little story. So here's my message in the bottle. Here's the bottle. And that's how I pulled it all together. Like, what makes me happy is being with my friends. It's beautiful. Beasts from the sea. Being by the sea. So all of this, and it's very cool because I was able to finally contact the mom last night and tell her that her daughter inspired me, and her mom just got such a warm feeling. And you know, she felt excited that somebody's still thinking about her daughter, her young daughter, who was an artist herself. So this is a story, and I did get first place in my category, but which is larger. And it's kind of cool that we all competed in different categories, so we weren't competing against each other, which was very nice.
So this is inspiration from above.
That's correct.
Very, very, very thoughtful. Very thoughtful. With me today is the president of the Eastern Long Island Quitters. Thank you, Mary, for inviting us to this show.
Well, thank you for coming and filming our show, and we're very excited that you're here today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure, to be here and to, capture what you guys are doing. You're doing a very good job.
We have a lot of fun.
Very good.
A lot of fun.
Now tell me about I see that you have, we went around and we saw that some people, they have ribbons attached to their, exhibit.
Yes, they were very lucky. They were our quilt show winners in many different categories.
Okay, so how are they judged and what are the criteria for?
Well, if you look through our show, we have many different categories of quilts. We have machine quilted, we have hand quilted, we have applique, and various different techniques that the quilters have used on their quilts. Some have more than one quilter on one quilt. Some do everything. So it depends. The categories fall within those parameters.
Okay. So what are how do you come about, picking who, what are the criteria that you put in place in choosing?
Okay, so some of their artistic interpretation, their quilting techniques, their skills in quilting, their interpretation of a design, color choices, stitching.
So you have a variety, and
there is a variety, yes.
Okay. So what is the theme of this show that we,
The theme is very interesting. It's around the world in 80 quilts.
Wow.
And if you saw our challenge quilts, they were all round, and they were interpreting different places around the world that we could possibly travel or see, or that were of interest to us.
Wow. So that took you all over the place.
It took us all over the place and back here to
To
Riverhead. Yes.
Riverhead, interesting.
Yes.
Now, where the judges where did they come from? Are they just here on Long Island, or they from all over?
No, for our quilt show, we have nationally certified judges.
Okay.
From the NQA judge actually comes from Minnesota. And she is a certified judge, and she comes in with her credentials. That's one thing about our quilt show. We always have credentialed judges. And she has a list of her judging criteria that she goes to look at each quilt. Each quilt is judged anonymously.
Okay.
And she will dictate to a scribe her different comments about each quilt. And when the owner of the quilt gets the quilt back at the end of the show, along with a ribbon, hopefully, or if not, she will be giving constructive criticism to that quilter so that for next year, maybe they will win a ribbon.
So how many judges do you have in the committee? I believe the people that are involved in choosing the...
Well, the National Quilt Association has, I would say, probably hundreds of judges.
Okay.
We just apply and ask for one judge. We actually have, on our quilt show committee, we have a lady who is in charge of researching the judge that would come here to us.
Okay. Very good. Very good. So you host this every year? This is an annual event?
This is an annual event. It's usually the second weekend in June, and it's always held here at the Suffolk Community College Riverhead campus.
Very good. Thank you. Hopefully, maybe you will invite us next year.
Of course we will. Come
Thank
on
you.
down.
Thank you.
And everyone else, come on down.
on
We'll
down,
have
please.
a great time.
That's good. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you so
and
much.
thank you.
As I use my up to you, Holy Spirit. You're the promise of the Father.
We're back now with Roberta, and she's the chairman of the quiz show that we're having today. Thank you for putting in the good job.
Oh, my pleasure.
Right around and everything is so beautiful.
Are you loving the show?
Oh my God! I was getting to know more about this, and maybe you guys will teach me how to sew. And
I always love to. That is
Thank
definitely
you.
perfect.
Thank you. Now tell us about this.
So-
I saw everything, all the
And
display,
walls, yes.
round. What does that mean?
Yes, so because our show is based on Around the World in 80 Quilts,
Okay.
every year there's a contest for the membership that we call a challenge. And our person in charge of the challenge decided this year that you would have to make a round quilt that would be between 20 and 30 inches and depict a place or an icon or a type of technique that is used from around the world. So all of these had to meet those requirements to be in the exhibit. And as you see, if you read them, they are from all different places and ideas, whether it's Paris or New York, or we have one that's the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and it looks like, with pepperoni and everything, it looks like
Wow, yeah, this
a pizza.
Yes, it does.
So it's really exciting. And then in addition to that, we have our Trip Around the World exhibit, where people have had quilts that they either made in the past or they collected using the traditional Trip Around the World pattern. And they're hanging around the room as well. You saw the modern one that we created as a raffle quilt, and these are traditional Trip Around the World.
Wow, this is beautiful.
Thank
This is
you.
beautiful. And you see everything is in round, and this one is a big
If you
apple.
want to see it, you can't touch them, but you can take
I'm
a
sorry,
pair of
I'm
gloves.
sorry, I'm sorry.
My friend Kathy here can help you with that.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I'm just looking. I was looking at the one with the big apple.
Isn't that
Is it? Yes.
No, it is not mine. I wish.
Which one is that?
That one with the big
It's one
apple.
of my-
That's very
Isn't that too
catchy.
cute?
Yeah, it's very, very cute.
It's
This
one of my
is
favorites.
absolutely amazing.
It is the bird high view of Columbus Circle.
And I have two here. This is one of, Kathy, do you have one in here?
Did you make?
Yes,
is any of
mine's
yours
the big
here,
apple.
Roberta?
The big apple.
She made the one big apple and I made this big apple.
This is beautiful. New
Oh,
York.
thank you.
New York.
That's right, I love New
This is-
York.
Yeah, this is nice. It's
And
very
each
nice.
one is different. The Mardi Gras, this particular
It's a subway.
type of
Subway map. Yes.
This type of stitching is called sashiko, which is Japanese stitching.
Okay. Very
And
nice.
I mean, they're just, the creativity is amazing. It's just wonderful. We actually have the free classes going
and
on.
this
in the
one
next
is from
program. Mardi
Creole?
Gras.
Yeah, from Creole.
Isn't that great?
It's beautiful.
Oh, they just, yeah, go ahead,
French,
tell them.
Yeah, all around the big.
I wasn't sure if he wanted me to straighten it.
Oh, okay. This
The
is
reason we
nice.
wear the gloves is because the oils in your hands are not good for the fabric. So we have docents wearing red sashes and gloves who can help you see whatever you need to within the quilt.
This is
Front,
very
back.
challenging. I like the creativity
this
and,
over
the
here?
expression of.
I'm always
This is
amazed.
our judges' merit and second place, which is just incredible.
It is.
The Viking
The
ship.
Vikings.
And this one over here is called Celtic,
Okay.
this type of technique.
This is very like advanced. Is that what it is?
Yes,
I'm
but
not
it's
gonna
a
touch it, I'm
specific
just-
technique from another part of, from Celtic, Ireland. Celtic
Ireland.
is Ireland.
Wow.
This was our
Don't
show.
touch.
You're not allowed, you can that one is mine.
That one is
but
yours.
you're still not supposed to touch.
Okay. this is from our very own. This is very nice.
Thank you.
Yes.
And
The quid, the challenge quid.
yes,
This one is Paris.
It's Paris.
And Roberta made this one.
he's the proud husband of a quilter. That's
Very,
what it is.
very good. Very good.
And our next speaker is inside too. She just arrived from the city. She's speaking at 1:30, Victoria Finley Wolf. So if you want to talk to her at all, but she's not retired. She's younger. She's very active in the modern quilt movement. Is there anything else I can tell you that you missed or need to know about?
You've given us a lot of your time.
I
today.
have
Thank
been
you so
thrilled that you
much.
came. Thank you.